My name is Richard Markham, and I currently live in Wisconsin in the American Midwest, but I'm from London, England originally. Uh, Joined the British Army when I was 16 years of age, served with the British Army until I was about 21 years of age, worked in the security industry in London, but I've lived in America now for almost 30 years. Um, I've probably been involved with the martial arts for about 35 years. Started boxing in the East End of London back in the 1980s and transitioned to kickboxing and traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu. But I did earn my black belt in Taekwondo under Warren Zeke as a fifth-degree black belt in Taekwondo. But since that time, I've been cross-training in MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai. So I've had an interest in martial arts for most of my life, Jamie. And but my first introduction to self-protection was with the Metropolitan Police in London. Now, I was not a police officer, but I was working in the security industry in London. And I had an opportunity to participate in a self-protection class that was offered by the Metropolitan Police. And to be honest, I didn't know what self-protection was at that time. I was familiar with the term close protection, having worked in the security industry, but also having served in the military. So I signed up for the class, and it was great. The class went on for about 6 weeks. And I think we met for about 3 hours, one evening a week for 6 weeks. And yeah, it was, and I've been teaching self-protection in my community for about 10 years. And I've always tried to model my class after the class I took with the Metropolitan Police. And I've always tried to work with local law enforcement to offer these classes. But we've also worked with sexual assault crisis centers and organizations that support victims of violence, sexual assault and sex trafficking in our area.
Excellent. Why did you choose to take the Animal Instincts teaching programs, Meerkat and Rabbit courses?
Well, basically, I think as a black belt in a martial art, you should try to be the best black belt that you can be. We should always try to be lifelong learners. We should try to learn as much as we can. And I was very happy when you and Mary Stevens decided to launch this program because I try to surround myself with people that know more than I do, and people who inspire me to be better. And I've always tried to give experts advice, and I consider both you and Mary to be experts in this field. So I'm very, very happy to have this opportunity, to learn from you.
Thank you. How did the course meet your expectations?
It did, and I was very happy with the content. And I'm very excited to see what you come up with in the future. I'm very excited now to get the next part of the class course. I'm very excited about sharing this information with others in my community. I think it's going to make me a better instructor. And I want to give the most value to the people who sign up for our classes.
Yeah, what elements on the course do you feel are particularly useful?
Well, I think trying to combat the myth about stranger danger was important. I think talking about the reality of real-world violence is very important. I like your approach. Self-protection training should be honest, it should be relevant, and it should be fun. I believe Mary said, we don't want to, turn the children in our class into hyper-vigilant people who expect to see maybe, people lurking around every corner or in every bush. That's not our intention, but we want people to be confident, because confident people are less likely to be victimized. Yes. Confident, assertive people.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And I love the idea of trying to gamify some of the concepts that we're trying to teach the kids, because I want it to be fun. Unfortunately, some of the topics that we have to discuss are not pleasant. It is hard for me as a parent to talk to my children about some of these topics, and I think it's hard for every parent. But whenever possible, in our classes, we try to make it fun for everybody. Because I do want it to be a fun experience for people, and they do say that actually when you gamify something, it's the best way to learn something. So I'm very excited to learn about ways that we can introduce some of these concepts, but also in a fun way, so that people feel empowered when they leave, and they've learned some life-saving skills. I consider these to be life-saving skills, just like having the ability to operate a fire extinguisher or apply first aid. I believe everybody should learn these skills. I think as a society, we do very well educating our children about fire safety and fire prevention. Okay, but because of fire extinguishers and fire protection systems, fire alarms, fortunately, it's a lot less likely today that they'll ever be in a situation where they'll be in a house fire, for example. But unfortunately, we don't do very well when it comes to educating our children about what might be the most dangerous moments of their lives. Whether it be violence or sexual assault, for example. So I think that's where we come in. And so, yeah, I've tried to educate myself as best I can. But I'm very, very excited about, learning from you. I mean, I believe you've, studied with Jeff Thompson in the past. Jeff is one of my heroes, and Peter Constantine, for example, and I know Mary is also, she's always trying to gain more knowledge. And, I believe you and Mary are both lifelong learners. You're always trying to learn more. You're always trying to go a little further. And, I admire that. And that's something that I try to do also. Best of luck to you, Jamie. It's a great course. It's a very admirable thing that you are doing. I look forward to following you and Mary, and I look forward to learning more about your ideas on children's self-protection.
Thank you very much, Richard.